got a call from Bentley and Team Parker saying, would you like to come and race for us? You won't be a factory driver yet, but they gave us an extremely good deal, which was nothing compared to what we were paying in single seaters. As you guys know, how much money it takes to run a car in single seaters. I mean, what's a full budget now for like F3 or something, £1 million?
It's criminal. I mean, to be honest, even when I went into GP3 the year after you in 2016, I think the fee, that sort of roundabout figure for sort of break even for the team was around 700 mark, 800.
And the problem is I only paid 200 grand to status for my year. So I suppose it was a great deal, but you get what you pay for at the end of the day. And I think I remember the next best deal we had was Arden were off, because I topped all the pre-season testing because I was fastest in Abu Dhabi at the end of 14 as well. I don't know if you were there, Nick, weren't you, as well? And I'd smashed.
Yeah, I was on the beach at that time, but you were there.
Yeah, I smoked everyone in that. So I was getting loads of nice drives, and the next best was Arden at 350, and I wish I would have managed to raise that because they were one of the best cars that year.
350.
But I only paid 200 in the end with status.
Yeah,
350 though. Budget.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, relatively thinking compared to nowadays. I mean, I think me and Richie Stanaway did it 2014, and again, we've got to remember that 150, 200 grand is still a massive amount of money, and we're super lucky to have done it. But I think both myself and Richie paid that, and then Alfonso Celis, his family was very wealthy from whatever they were doing and fronted the rest of the bill. Otherwise, I wouldn't have raced. And that's when I soon realised, when you're getting told, oh, you can't crash on this lap or don't push because we've got no more spare front wings, stuff like that. It's like, right, I need to get out. And that's when I looked for my out or whatever to GTs. And it was a weight off my shoulders because there's a whole different world from this Formula One bubble as well. Not that it's not great, because Formula One's brilliant, but there's this whole different bubble away from Formula One where you can actually go and earn a really good living and have way more fun.
Just on that point, when I talked about this investor that pulled out, when we knew we were scraping the barrel, my dad and I had to have the most difficult conversation, and my mum, so my mum, dad, and me had to have the most difficult conversation and basically say, right, this isn't going to happen. You're not going to be a Formula One driver. And, everyone was in tears because obviously I presumed, I was a bit like Ayrton Senna in a way. I presumed I had a God-given right to be in Formula One, and I genuinely did. So I used to be an arrogant little bugger, and, I suppose you need to be good at this game. And I wouldn't say I'm really like that anymore. But basically, we had to have this conversation where we said, right, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to happen, Seb. What do you want to do? And then, we then started making some calls, and then it was actually Team Parker Racing called me and said, you want to come and do this? And I come from finishing 15th, 12th, whatever in GP3, thinking I was shit and thinking I'd lost all my talent, to then in the first race at British GT against, world-renowned factory drivers, I stuck it on pole by half a second, and I thought, here we go. I've my talent bag's still all right. I'm still good. So
it's easy, this.
Yeah.
Brands.
Yeah, Brands Hatch. I set the lap record, still unbeaten to this day. That.
It's because I haven't been.
I was just gonna, you know what? I was just gonna
shut
up.
That. Yeah.
But the budgets for we just mentioned about with GP3 and GP2. It's been 4, 5, 6 years since we were in it, and it's added like another 500,000 on top of it now.
I don't understand how is that even possible. You're doing the same championship, same races, same cars pretty much. I know they've changed, but it's the same sort of running budgets. I don't understand why it's going up, and it's all because of demand and supply. Isn't it? At the end of the day, there's a lot of rich young kids out there now that will pay whatever it takes, and it's a sad world. And I tell you what, if I had a kid that was a son, I would be putting a football in front of his legs and telling him to kick it, because I would not want him anywhere to do a race.
I mean, I always feel like I'm really privileged to have even started it when I look back.
Yeah.
Like just starting in karting, to be able, I had my dad support me karting and into Formula 4, but after that it was like you couldn't do anything about it, and I relied on a lot of people around me. So I kind of, I try not to look at it with, with regret in a way, and sort of see that there's a lot out there. Granted, Formula One is the pinnacle, and in the world, in the eyes of many people, won't know about a lot about Le Mans. That the amount of people that know about Formula One way outweighs the amount of people that know about Le Mans and GT racing and stuff like that. But I mean, I've done a tiny bit of it, but not like to the level you boys have yet. I think it'd probably be coming for me around this year. But I just really look forward to it. It just looks like the racing and GT and sports cars endurance just looks just so much fun.
I would love to show Formula One fans, some of the highlights of the races we've done, Nick, because they think Formula One's interesting, and some of the stuff we do, especially the sprint race formats, are amazing. With the endurance racing, it's a very selective sport, because you have to really know what you're looking at to be able to see who's where with strategy and stuff like that. But when we do the 3-hour races, the sprint races, anywhere between 1 and 3 hours, I mean, they are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they're really fun, and also it's not just the racing side, as in on track action. We'll do a bit of this later on when we're not just doing podcasts. We're trying to develop the channel and do a bit more, video based, and actually take the fans and guests along with us and let them see from a driver's point of view what the hell actually goes on during a race weekend. But the camaraderie and whatnot between the GT drivers and the level of mutual respect, I found
it's
to
ridiculous.
be
Really good.
really, really nice. Really nice. Like, after, even in South Africa when we were there in December, it doesn't matter who wins. We'll all have a beer together. It's the end of the weekend, have a laugh, chill out, and then move on and see each other next year. Whereas in single seaters, you look at everyone like they've just stood on your dog and you hate them. It's just really quite toxic, I found personally.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. But GTs is that's the side of people. I think if you've been and you understand, then these super fans are fans for life. But until that, everyone thinks Formula One is the pinnacle, which it is in terms of technological development and whatnot. Technological in it. All that stuff, but it's not necessarily pure racing anymore.
Yeah, agreed. So this, for me to take that step so early again, so I took the step early to go into cars, and then I took the step early to realize I wasn't going to be a Formula One driver, and jumped early to GTs. And again, that really paid off. Within 3 years, I was a factory driver getting paid money by Bentley. So, from thinking my life was over in 2015 to then how it, between 16 and the end of 19, when I got made a factory driver, 3 years, and then it was all back on track again. And I know it's difficult now, with loads of manufacturers pulling out funding, but I think I am now a factory driver, and once you get that status, it's something that can't be taken away from you. That everyone knows how hard you have to work and how good you have to be in every single way to be a factory driver for any manufacturer. And there's only 6 Bentley boys in the world. And I think there's only ever been we looked at a stat the other day, there's only ever been 42 Bentley drivers. So it's a very elite club to be in. So that's why, when you get to race for a manufacturer, opportunities will come. And I know it's going to be tough this year for all of us, but, as I said, it's bums in seats time, and no one can take away the fact that I've been a Bentley boy, and I've earned that, and hopefully will be again, or, can be with another manufacturer. So just got to keep your head up.